Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. And thank you for tuning in today. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe below. Hit that bell button so that you'll get all the notifications when we upload our chats.
Yes.
And we would love for you to subscribe and like us and share us with other people,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
We'd love for you to share. That's great if we can get the word out that we're doing this. And today, what tea are we drinking?
Today we are drinking organic roasted dandelion root tea. We've had this once before and we enjoyed it so much we thought we would do it again.
I'm just going to fix your earring because it's stuck to your hair.
Oh.
Just notice that. There you go, dear.
It's not ding-a-ling-a-linging.
It was not dangling. It was stuck.
Okay. So the personality of this tea is resilient and tough, supportive. The herbal power of this tea gets the juices flowing, gently stimulates the liver, and supports healthy digestion. The reason to love is once you've brought dandelion into your life, you'll never look at those pesky weeds the same way again.
Yeah, I love dandelion. I actually drink a blend called Dandy Blend.
Oh, okay.
And that's instead of coffee. So if you don't want to drink the caffeine, they have something. And I got it online because I was in Pescadero. You know what Pescadero is?
Yes.
So I went to Pescadero and they had this little cafe and they were offering dandelion lattes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I really loved it. And then I saw them with this bag and I said, "Where'd you get that from?" And they said, "You can buy at Whole Foods." So I rushed to Whole Foods the next time I was back in my area, but they didn't have it, obviously. I'm like, They don't have it.
Right.
So I looked online, and sure enough, they have it online. So my husband ordered it, and I've been drinking it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you feel that it's as good of enjoyment as having a good cup of coffee?
Yeah, you can do it hot, you can do it cold, you can have it not so strong, or you can make it as strong as you want, because it's just a blend, and it's a powder, and you just make it into your beverage. So I like it. I love dandelion.
See, you learn something new every day. So let's get started.
I'm going to try this tea.
You think it's steeped?
Well, not try because we've had it before.
Yes, but we're going to.
Well, we'll try a little bit and then we'll steep it some more.
Oh, it's going quite lovely.
Yeah, it's really dark now. So we'll try it.
Cheers.
I love that. I love that dandelion taste. I can't get enough of it.
Yes, it's very nice tea. So I'm sure if you're on planet Earth, you've heard that we're experiencing our hot fire season. And PG&E has decided that they wanted to take some proactive action this year to minimize big fires, because the loss of paradise has just been devastating. We lost a whole town. People who live in Santa Rosa, I mean, it was just devastating because these three items are three homes. So this house would burn, this one would be spared, this one would burn. It was like the ambers were hopping. So there was no rhyme or reason. People thought like everything would be gone and they would get back and their house was fine. But the neighbors on both sides, their houses were gone, their vehicles were gone. I mean, it was very devastating. So while I appreciate what PG&E is attempting to do, I'm a little concerned at their path, because what they did is they started these rolling blackouts where they're taking you off the grid. And the appearance is that they're not really looking at the total picture. And what I mean by that is we have a local radio station here, KGO 810, and people have called in, and one gentleman called in and he says, "I live in Aptos. I live on the beach. I have no power." He said, "How am I going to get a fire when I am on the beach?"
On the beach.
With no trees. Another person called in and they said, "I live in Santa Rosa. And I understand that they could be sensitive to Santa Rosa because we experienced a major fire. However, I am downtown Santa Rosa, and I am near the police and fire departments for Santa Rosa, and I have no power." So Rosetta and I were like, okay, what is the algorithm? What is the means and the method that they're using to determine what they take off the grid and what they don't?
Because I spoke to some people this morning, and he lives Almaden, which is South San Jose, and he said, I asked him, do you have power? He said, yeah, I have power, but just down the way they don't have power.
Mm-hmm.
So again, there you go. There's no rhyme or reason.
And they close schools.
Yes.
So like if you live in Alum Rock, like where she's talking, they closed the Alum Rock schools. And my mom lives in a senior complex. Half the complex has power. The other half does not.
And where is the reason? What is that? I mean, I don't get it.
And when you live in a senior complex, you have things like, defibrillators, CPAP machines, oxygen machines. Are they at least looking to see where that power is going before they're cutting it? Because, my mom on Tuesday, she was all panicked because she happens to have a requirement that she has to sync a device at least once every 12 hours. And she's like, well, what if the power goes out? What am I going to do? And I'm like, Mom, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. So I called her again on Wednesday morning and I'm like, are you okay? And she goes, I couldn't sleep at all. I mean, the worry and the stress of this, it's just very, very concerning. And I don't know the exact details, and I'll see if I can find out, and we will talk about it, in our next chat. It appears that the executive of PG&E want their bonuses. And I think all of their bonuses should go to fixing your infrastructure. Don't put bandages on it of taking people's power out. I mean, there are people that have been without power since Tuesday. So their food, if they haven't found another place to put it, the food is gone.
Completely gone.
And I don't hear PG&E saying things like, they're taking the action to take you off the grid. I don't hear them saying, and we will reimburse you for any loss. Because I think if they were accountable for people losing food, people having to go to emergency rooms because you took them off the grid and they need a particular device to keep them alive, maybe you wouldn't be so quick to just, take the power. I mean, it's kind of scary because initially you think, oh, they're being conscientious, they want to do the right thing. And then someone, puts a little bug in your ear and they say, I think they're just mad that we want to hold them accountable for all the fires. So they're going to inconvenience us. And if that is really true, that is very, very sad. Very sad, PG&E.
Yeah. I ditto everything she said. I have nothing to say because what am I going to say? I mean, it's all true, right?
Yeah.
I can say more, but...
And some people are lucky. And I didn't understand this because remember when they were talking about the areas that they were going to take down?
Yes.
I mean, it looked like all of California, northern, southern, okay? My sister lives in Santa Clara. Santa Clara has its own electric company. They do not use PG&E.
Oh, I did not know that.
So if you live in Santa Clara and they took your power, comment below and let us know.
Yeah, because that was one of the cities, because they did have on their website the counties and the cities within that county that were going down.
Right.
And Santa Clara was not one of them.
Yeah, because they can't. They don't provide.
Right.
My sister makes me want to strangle her at least once a week when she shares things like, oh, my electric bill is $15. Oh, that's if it's high. Most of the time it's $10. Well, most of us who are on PG&E, we're in the $100, $200, $400 range. So when someone can get, electric for $20 a month.
Very cheap.
Very cheap.
Well, good for them.
I told her, I said, I'm happy for you, but don't share no more because I might have to hurt you.
Yeah.
So as we all know, Prince Harry, I love him. I love Duchess Meghan, and oh my God, Archie is the cutest little baby. He is just so happy. I mean, they make it seem like, he is a regular baby. I've never seen him crying or throwing a fit or anything. So Harry is very concerned about his wife and his child based upon what happened to his mom. So he is taking actions to sue the British tabloids for misrepresenting information that they're gathering. Apparently, Meghan's father gave them a letter because he wanted them to, have the real information. And instead of them taking the letter, cut, paste, and printing it, they kind of
did their own
massaged it a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, to make the situation look worse than it really was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and Prince Harry is saying that it's starting that path again down that road of what they did to his mother. And for all of you that don't know, his mother was Lady Di,
yes.
Princess Diana.
Yes.
And you know what happened to her, right?
Yeah.
Fatal death.
Absolutely.
At a very young age. And I really truly believe that I'm so happy that Harry is speaking out.
Yes.
He needs to nip this in the bud instead of just letting it happen.
Yeah. And I don't think he's going to just let it drop. And people are like, well, they're opening up this whole big old can of worms. However, these are people too. And just as they want to have a good life, why it doesn't have to be so negative. It just doesn't have to be. There was a movie I saw, and I can't remember the name of it, but I think the name of it was Paparazzi. And it was about how these paparazzis was going after this actor. And, they liked him. And so they would like chase him in the streets, and they would get on his property, and they would break into his house. And this guy got fed up. So he set it up so that they would be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he got them all one by one. And the investigating policeman told him, he's like, I don't know how you're doing this where we don't know, but 100% that you're guilty, but we know you're doing it. And it was just because he was tired. I mean, what they did is they overstepped the boundaries. And they went after his wife and his son, and they got hurt. And when his son was put in the hospital, you could see the toggle where he went from kind, respected father to a enraged father.
Well, the paparazzi, they can push you over the top.
Yeah.
And you see on the news and any celebrity, like entertainment news, you see sometimes some of the celebrities, when they see the paparazzi following them in their apartments, their houses, or when they get off the airplane, they get angry.
Yes.
They give them punches, and they're like, it's
Get
flying
away
all
from me.
over the place. Yeah,
Yes.
and I can only imagine how someone must feel when they get violated and followed 24/7.
Yeah.
It is not pleasant.
And even when people give them information so they will go away, they'll go, well, if they told us this, there's got to be more. And they press.
Keep digging and digging and digging.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Because they want the money.
Yes.
I'm the first to bring this to the news. I'm going to get big bucks.
Yes. It's crazy. So in addition to Prince Harry working to try and protect and shield his family, today is National World, I want to make sure I say it properly. It is National World Mental Health Awareness Day. And what I thought is really cool is Prince Harry is working with Ed Sheeran to bring awareness to this to the world. And Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan were talking about how it's always like taboo. It's the thing in the room that nobody wants to talk about. And it's like, we have to talk about it. We have to bring it up. We have to decide as a cohesive environment of people that this is a known condition. And if we talk about it, we can bring about change and quit trying to hide it. I mean, like Harry was saying, Prince Harry was saying, for over 20 years, he has had to deal with the loss of his mom.
Yeah. And yes, you're right. The only way we're going to address this is to talk about it. Don't hide it, sweep it under the carpet. There's so many people that have mental illnesses. Something has to be done, and we need to talk about it.
Right.
And be open and try and figure out ways to try and help people or prevent mental illness.
Right. And I think some of this also, just based on who I am and how I was raised, I think some of this has to do with the homeless population in I can only talk about the United States. I understand it's worldwide, because I would never do anything that would cause disgrace to my family. And I see people in my travel on the road taking sponge baths outside, just dropping, just in the buff. And they don't have any connection that this is embarrassing, this is something I shouldn't be doing. I see them with the shopping carts. And I understand that, when we have our possessions, we want to keep our possessions with us. However, when I was over on Julian Street, I was upstairs, and where I was across from a field, and I could see people coming and going. And there was a young man, and he used to park his shopping cart where he thought it was kind of inconspicuous, where
Sure.
people wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
And people would come by, homeless people, the people who were working, they would just walk by. They would see it and they'd keep going. But homeless people, and they wouldn't just take his stuff, that they would take everything out and they would just throw it. Just very, very cruel and disrespectful. So I think this, mental health is something that we're going to have to address, because it's not going away, because people are not getting the care that they need.
Yeah, we've always had mental health issues. Remember, in the Silicon Valley, there used to be that one facility, Agnew's. Yes. And that closed.
Across, not too far from where we are.
Yeah, and that closed. And what happened to all the people inside that facility?
I know, because there were lots.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to drive by, and it would be like my fun part of the day, because you would see people out skipping, out on the grass, dancing, doing pirouettes. I mean, it would just be so funny in hospital gowns.
Yes.
And I remember when they closed it, and then Sun Microsystem moved into the space. And I just think, like you, where did all those people go?
They just dispersed.
Yeah.
They're on the streets. Those
Yeah.
are the people roaming around. If they're lucky, I don't know what they did. I really don't know. I mean, I don't even know if they even have family. If they were lucky, they
Right.
had family who took them back in. But
Right. Well, I
a lot of them
know
didn't.
recently, and I'll have to see if I can find the link, and we'll put it down below. There was a woman in the subway in LA. She was an opera singer, and a police officer recorded her singing. So, who's in LA? Hollywood.
yes.
So, she's very petite. Is it Chasward? She's a very beautiful opera singer. She's listening to her while she's looking at the video, and she's like, oh my God. And then a producer was like, oh my God, the depth and the breadth of her vocals. Now, this is a young woman that fell on some hard times. There's no mental illness. She just fell on some hard times, and she needs help. And I think that because the producer's like, I could do a whole play around her, I think she's going to be okay. That's an isolated incident. There's still lots of things going on. So, whatever we can do as citizens, I don't know if we can make this a ballot issue. I think we need to figure out how to help get people off the streets. I've always thought, we went through a period where we closed down all the bases. I think we should take and, okay, no, they don't have any money. Maybe they have skills. And if they don't have skills, they can teach them.
Sure.
And for a place to lay your head, you get up every morning and you help them restore.
Sure.
You paint, you mop, you clean. At least that way, it'll give the person their dignity back and their willingness to live. So
And some people don't even really have serious mental illness. They're just
Right.
down on their luck, or they're just,
and they
they need someone to help them.
Yeah.
They just don't have the resources. So if, someone can help another person get up from the down in the dumb situation, that's,
Right.
you're right. They should do that. Open
Right.
up the facilities.
Yeah, because they're just falling apart. And I mean, we're talking about large places where we used to have soldiers. So they're saying that we're safe now, we don't need it. So why can't we use those facilities to let people,
Sure.
have a better life?
Yeah, that's great. That's just some thought and
Yes.
ideas that we're throwing out, but I'm sure there's a whole lot of things that can be talked about for this mental health issue.
Yes. And also, Sesame Street is always, even though it's primarily for kids, they're always, just on the edge. So they just came out with a new program addressing adult addiction to opioids. The little character, it was so cute because the one little character said, so why is Lily staying with you? And they're like, her mommy's not feeling well, so she's going to live with us for a while. I mean, they're, once again, the children.
Yes.
The children will lead us. It's like, don't hide it, bring it out, let us work on it, let us do things together to collaborate.
That's a bit like the global warming with Greta Thunberg. Yes. Yeah, it has to, starts with somewhere, and then the younger kids are the ones that are leading the adults.
Yes. I pray daily that the 2020 election, there are going to be so many young kids voting because the status quo is not working. So we need some new perspective, and we need people to realize, like this morning on The View, there was this big whole argument because Joy Behar, talking about, the future, she was saying that the Republican Party doesn't care about their grandkids, because if they did, they would want to do something about the environment. And Abby was like, oh, I wouldn't put it like that, quite that bad. And Joy's like, I stand by my word. Because if you care about the future of your children and your grandchildren, then you should care about the quality of the place that we live.
Sure.
And if you care, do not make this a Democrat-Republican issue. I'm over that. I don't care about that anymore. There used to be pride in being a member of one of the organizations, and now it's just disappointing. One side is corrupt and crooked, and the other side doesn't appear to have the guts to say,
to stand up.
I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. You're going to jail. I'm done.
Yeah.
And mean it. I'm sure there's a whole big story behind. For us, the citizens, we don't all see that. We just see what the illusion that's being put in front of us.
The facade they put on TV.
Yeah. So if there's more to it, let us know. If you've got some insight, let your girls know. So, poor Lamar Odom. He may have been a great basketball player. I'm a football girl. I watch basketball if I have to or if I'm in a sports bar, but not really. I hear he was very, very good basketball player. He cannot dance.
He was. No, he cannot.
And it was funny because when he met Peta, he was like, I'm the shoulder roll.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. No.
He lasted 4 weeks.
Yes.
I think 4 weeks on.
He lasted 3 weeks longer than I thought.
Dancing with the Stars. I thought he was actually going to be the first to go.
If I had to look at Mary Wilson or him dance, I would be over in the line to watch Mary dance.
Yeah.
To be 74 and to move with grace like that. And I mean, he clunked. I don't think he ever tried to point his toe or do anything.
Well, I think that yes, it was quite, well, not a pretty sight to see. However, for this past week episode, he actually did try his hardest, and you could see improvement. You could see vast improvement.
And that's why he was able to stay, because the judges are always talking about, it's not just about finding the best, greatest dancer. It's finding someone who's listening to the feedback and improving
week after week. However, what was sad was his scores were no different than the previous week.
Right.
All 4s.
Right.
And I was surprised because I thought, was it 4 or 5? I can't remember. I think it was the same. It was pretty bad.
12. I think he's a...
Yeah. So it was not, it's kind of sad, but he was the one to go.
Yes. So, Lamar, thank you very much for, being strong enough to come on Dancing with the Stars and to do your best. And I like how one of the things he equated it to, he's like, I've known, they did an interview after, and he's like, I've known loss. He goes like losing a championship. And that's how he equated losing off of Dancing with the Stars. And I'm like, honey, 2 different categories. I think Dancing with the Stars was, it's supposed to be fun. And if you took it as fun, and I mean, Peta is tiny. And Omar is so tall.
She's 5'7" and he's what?
6'7",
6 something. He's
6'8".
tall.
I
Yes.
mean, so the reach, like trying to get him to hold frame. How can you hold frame and then reach down and grab someone?
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's not easy. That's probably why a lot of times he didn't have the technique.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he had it in his head. And I also watched Peta. She would be like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I mean, she guided him through the entire routine.
She was great. She did her best she could.
She did. She did a fabulous job. So check it out next Monday.
Check it out and comment if you like Dancing with the Stars and your thoughts and comments on what you thought. We'd love to hear it.
Yes. The Voice has been different this year, and it's been kind of cool. The first time I thought, okay, are the judges going to get punked? Because the lights are out. So the person starts singing in the dark. However, Gwen Stefani was on The View, and she was talking about how they wanted the audience, us, not the people there,
the viewers on TV.
The viewers on TV to feel what they feel when their backs are turned, and all you can do is hear a voice.
Sure.
So,
That makes sense.
I mean, it's been really interesting. I told Rosetta, I said I was listening to this guy, and I was like, ooh, oh yeah, oh, he's got soul, he's got rhythm, and he had the most beautiful red hair and blue eyes, and I thought, ooh, because I was expecting all that soulful rhythm to be coming from someone a little more calmly, and it was just really, really cute, because I love music. I love all aspects of music. Probably my least favorite is, I guess you would say, explicit rap, because if you have to curse, I'm done. I remember one time I was in a club and we were dancing and they put this song on and it was like, oh, bitch better have my money. All my girls, we all just walked off the floor, and the guys were like, where y'all going? It's like, no.
No, I'm not feeling it. No, not right.
No.
Yeah.
And I always try and tell my, youngins and my nieces and my nephews, watch it. Because I watch their children now, and they're singing the words to these songs, and
not even knowing what it means. They're just singing it because they like the rhythm.
They
and
like
the tune,
the beat.
The beat. That's it. The beat.
And I mean, there are lots of people like there's a song, I love it when you call me Big Papa. Okay.
Oh yes.
I've only heard the clean version, as old as I am.
I've only heard the clean version. I didn't know there was an explicit version.
If you have like XM or Fandango or something like that, Big Papa throws some words at you. And you're like, wow. Yeah. So when you're used to the clean version and you get the uncut version, you're like, wow.
That reminds me. Now we're talking about clean and unclean version.
Yes.
Snoop Dogg.
Yes.
You know Snoop Dogg?
Yes.
He did a concert and they said, please keep it clean version. So he was, and then afterwards he was interviewed, goes, if you know Snoop Dogg, I don't have anything clean.
No.
You're getting Snoop Dogg. You don't get the clean version of anything.
Right.
So we're talking about that. That's funny. Yes.
Yes. First time I was working at Apple Computer, and we had a conference, and we didn't even think about this. We all got on planes and we flew from all over the world to New York. I mean, we had, executives of Apple Computer on the plane, the same plane. Nowadays, and later on in my career, it got to the point where we would make sure that you didn't put the CEO and the CFO on the same plane together. So if anything happened, the company didn't just, fall apart. And I was in a club, and I had never heard, like hardcore rap. And in New York, they have these underground clubs, and the bass speakers are huge. And I remember I was standing there, and it felt like the beat was inside of me. It was really cool. There was some words. I was like, no, those words. So sometimes my little Southern heritage comes out, and I'm like, I don't know about these words. So then Rosetta and I, we were talking. So when people win, have you ever asked yourself, where do they go? What do they do?
Yeah.
Some of them we hear about. Like, I love Adam Lambert. And I thought he should have won the year he was on American
Idol.
And he didn't. And then the last night he had the opportunity to perform with Queen, who he now performs with every day.
For the past 8 years.
Yes. I mean, he has gone from, you know, someone who just admired the band to becoming a piece of it.
Part of the band.
You know, we know of Fantasia because not only did she do music, she did Broadway. You know, they did The Color Purple on Broadway,
Right, on Broadway,
and she was in that. You know, Carrie Underwood. Not only
and
do
these
we
are
love
all
her,
the singers that have won or not won American Idol.
Well,
but
what
I
about
was
the
I
voice?
was just talking to Gloria and even my family who say, we see all these people winning The Voice. How many seasons has The Voice been around?
Yes.
And we barely hear not much about these singers.
So we
do know that they do something, right?
Right.
I mean, they may go touring with one of, like, Blake likes to get those young people to headline for them, right?
Yes.
For him.
Yes.
We do hear some people have, like, CDs.
Yes.
But they have had nowhere near the fame and popularity that the singers from American Idol have.
Right.
So we're just wondering if you can let us know
comment below.
The Voice, what have they been doing? I mean, when you win, what do you win?
Yeah, you know, it's really funny because, you know, they always talk about, and the winner of the $1 million. Have you ever froze your television to see what that says? So the person that just won American Got Talent, yeah, they won, I think it's like $500,000 or $250,000, whatever. But if you freeze your TV, it says an annuity paid over 40 years. So if you old and you win, chances are you might not get all that money.
You probably wouldn't get all that money if they put that disclosure underneath.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I always thought, like, if I won $1 million, I'd get $1 million.
Right,
But
no.
40 years. So before we go, we always have to talk about our girl, Miss Wendy Williams.
How you doing?
Wendy, it is so nice to see you back on the air. I love how you had you're living your best life and you had your time with your girls over the summer. You are knocking it out the park. You are not taking prisoners. We both love the kittens. They are so cute.
Keep doing those Instagram posts, please, Wendy. And you are not the cat lady.
No.
I love those cats.
Yeah.
Being a cat person myself.
That's right. There was even a little talk because one of her new girlfriends is Nene Leakes. And Nene and Wendy got to spend some time together. And Nene was in, I can't remember. I know she's out of the country, like Germany or someplace. And she had called Wendy and they were talking. And, you know, Wendy was like, girl, you stay there. You know, you make that money. And when you're done, you come home. You know, fulfill your commitments. So I love how she, and even then, you know, because, you know, she told her, she says, you know, you do the right thing because, you know, I'll be talking because that's my job. She's not allowing all the things that are going on in her life to shift her away from who she is and what she does. And I think that's pretty phenomenal. I love how your people are taking care of you. Like Booth will be, you know, ding dong and, you know, be like, hello. And he's like, open the door, I'm downstairs. And she's like, what you doing here? And he said, you need to eat. And I'm just dropping off some food
and
for
Boo
you.
is her DJ in her show, the Wendy Williams show.
Yes.
For all of you that don't watch Wendy Williams.
Yes. And then there's, you know, she's got producers and she's just got a good team and they're there for her. And I'm happy to see it. And we're happy you made it back for season 11. And she got renewed for 2 more years after this. So she's doing really good.
Good for you, Wendy.
Yes.
Yep.
So thank you all once again for joining in. I know we're throwing a lot of things at you, and it's our intention to try and keep it positive. However, we want you to feel our passion as we communicate.
Yes, and we want to make you aware of things happening around, you know, America and around the world.
Yes.
Hot topics, news, things that are important to us that we need to address. But thank you for joining us on this chat today. We really appreciate that.
Yes.
And please remember to subscribe below, hit that bell button so you can get all the notifications, right? We want you to be on top of all our chats when we
Yes.
upload them.
And we'll put all the links so that you can go back and see where we're pulling the source of our conversations with you.
Yes. And thanks again. And remember to
Always
always keep smiling. Bye-bye now.
Bye.